if you were to tell me that there was a Yojo Senki X Fallout 3 fanfiction that is honest to God good, but seems to have been abandoned, I would have called you fucking nuts. I would have told you that wouldn't have worked. I would have told you that even with my creative mind, I couldn't think of a way for that to work. Folks, I have been proven wrong.
What the fuck?
And what can I say? This is Yojo Senki and Fallout.
Explain! Explain! Explain!
Okay, before I absolutely lose every single one of you, here's the setup. Tanya is now in the capital wasteland. As to how she got transported there, I can only assume that another being besides being X literally dropped her ass off there, or interfered in being X's plan. Not only is she there, but also is Vasha. Basically, the Major's lieutenant, her second in command, and possible love interest. As well as Mary fucking Sue. But it gets better. Because of Tanya being who she is, she just can't go anywhere in the wasteland without attracting attention. One of which is, in fact, the Institute, believing that she is a synthetic body for Braun, and that Braun, from Vault 112, has put himself into a new body. Not only that, but she has pissed off raiders. She now has, of course, Mr. Burke after her, wanting to assassinate her. She has the Brotherhood of Steel wanting to recruit her. And
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it?
not only that.
I don't like where this is going.
Tanya's adventures are tame when compared to what is happening with Mary Sue. Mary Sue apparently is captured by the Enclave and has her own fucking adventure. And apparently is trying to find Tanya. But that pales in comparison to what's going on with the lieutenant. To Vasha. To her. She's in Mothership Zeta.
Oh, hold on. I dropped my pen.
Yeah. She's on Mothership Zeta. She's on the fucking mothership. Trying to make sure that these aliens do not take over Earth, along with an American, along with the samurai guy, along with the kid, along with everybody else. And there's a running joke that because she couldn't understand, that they couldn't understand her and only knew about the uniform and her speaking German, assumed that she was a fucking Nazi. She's not. she's a Prussian. She's an Imperial. World War I, not World War II. But the funny thing is that she's basically doing all this to try and find the Major, or at least make sure that there's an Earth to go back to. And I can already see the setup where this is going with that. But Tanya is the main focus here, and as much as I want to say I would love to see more focus with, of course, Mary Sue and Vasha. Again, I'm doing my best here, people. Fucking forgive me on this, but again, this is exactly what I wanted to see in a Fallout fanfiction. Because not only is it, of course, set before the events of Fallout 3, and I mean this, it's set before the events of Fallout 3 where your character is taking the goat. It's set before then. But what's happening with all this is that Tanya goes to the mall, is befriended by ghouls. She helps out with this and that. She then, of course, hooks up with Wolfgang and joins up with his trade caravan, goes up to Canterbury Commons, has a factory up and running where she's producing bikes, electric bikes, and even has the idea that all this stuff. And not only that, but she has people guessing her history, including one, Jane, or June, whichever one, basically a female caravan guard who is basically now attached to Tanya, is trying to keep her from losing herself because she assumes, and this is just my thought process on this, with the way Tanya is vicious and kills raiders left and right, and knowing that she's an orphan, I can only assume that June assumes that Tanya was forced to kill people at a young age growing up, that she was among raiders, that she was used to entertain them, and the reason that she is so effective at killing is because of raiders that possibly forced her to do this growing up, and is trying to get her to not be like that, try her to be at peace, try and have a good childhood, as good as you can have in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. That is beautiful, that is good, I love it. I mean, yes, it's messed up in the thought process, but it would make sense in terms of a backstory. But Tanya, on the other hand, is literally after arriving at Rivet City and finding out that super mutants are literally camping out at the Jefferson Memorial, in an honest-to-God way, creates a private army and goes after. I mean, hell, she has main game characters, even Riley's Rangers sign up with her. And as soon as the contract was over for her and her private military, and even offers them, before she can even begin the second contract to create her own private military company, Riley's Rangers are the first ones in and literally are demanding a contract to sign to work with her again and continue to work with her. And the best thing about it is, that's only one part of the storyline. As I stated before, the Institute is now interested in her because they think she is Von Braun, who is in Vault 111 terrorizing people. If you want to learn about that, you're going to have to read this, along with Mary Sue's storyline and even Vasha's storyline. But Tanya is the center focus of the story, and dear God alive, I'm pleading to my fellow authors, somebody pick this up and continue it. Fucking adapt it for Fallout New Vegas. Because you can imagine that. Imagine that. Tanya in the Mojave. Think about that. Or better yet, Tanya in Fallout 4. Or... the possibilities are there. And the ability to create these stories are even further. And as to why the author abandoned this, I don't know. Or even, I don't know if the author has abandoned the story. But what I will say is that it is well written. Yes, there are some grammatical errors here and there. There are some things here and there that don't really work out that well, but I can let it slide because it actually is legitimately good. It's a fun read. As a fellow Fallout fan and someone who has played Fallout 3 religiously when I first got it for Xbox 360, yes, the 360, not PC, because I didn't have a gaming PC growing up back then, I will tell you this now. It is accurate. He did well adapting to characters. He did well doing this stuff. And everything that is setting up is probably going to lead to an amazing payoff. And when Being X finally finds Tanya, and found Tanya, I am waiting for her to literally go to Dunwich. If anyone has ever played Fallout 3, New Vegas, or even 4, or even the Point Lookout DLC, you know there's more to the Fallout universe than just God and hell. Even Fallout 2 had some freaky shit. But I'm going to say this now. This is a story that y'all need to check out. Every single one of you needs to check it out. I'm dead serious on this. Every single one of you needs to check this story out because it is exactly what it needs to do. We need, honest to God, we need this to be continued. We need this to be spun off to not only, of course, Fallout New Vegas for the Mojave, but also the DLC. Or if we can, maybe even the mods. Hell, the Enclave mod itself spawned a Gate story that legitimately is entertaining. I don't know if I've covered it yet or not, but if I did, then hallelujah. But even then, again, it's a legitimately good story. And I can't praise it enough. But, till then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and next time, and obviously the usual stuff, everything's down below. But, ladies and gentlemen, to celebrate the reaction fanfiction for Star Wars Reacts to Fallout that I'm actually working on with, of course, my good friend Crimson Weresloff, and celebrating the massive amount of support that we're getting from it, I'm going to do something special for the next Yojo Senki story. Next time, we take a look at what happens when Tanya Degurchov is reincarnated into the Mandalorian family. Not just any Mandalorian family, but one of a certain redhead, a certain blonde, and a certain war. As to which one, I leave that to you. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and I will see you all in the next media review. Till next time.
Looking for that perfect game for your gaming console? Video Game Corner is the largest independently owned video gaming store in North Mississippi, located at 1519 Highway 72 in Corinth. We are an authorized limited-run retail store and have a massive collection of retro games and game systems, and also plush toys and collectibles. We also pay top dollar for your used video games. Check them out Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Visit Video Game Corner in Corinth.